Can you hear it? Welcome to Relay.
Oh my goodness. Hello everyone. It's starting. Hey Mud Trucka. Hello everyone. Hey.
If anyone's scrolling through our videos, know this is not an old video.
Yeah, this is a new video.
Not an
Is
old
that
episode.
weird? Yeah.
It's been a little bit. But you know,
just to further Nakara's point, we are live and we can prove it. Penis.
wait, how does that prove Nakara's point?
I have no idea, but I mean,
wanted to
hey,
say
It wasn't censored.
Oh.
there you
Has any of our stuff ever been censored?
Do we follow
Usually
like
if
the
you say
Nielsen
that word
guidelines?
over here, it just turns into like blurred pixels.
All right, that's true, right?
Hi,
Do they
everybody.
actually blur out? Yeah, let's. Okay. Hi. Who are you? Who's this with us down there?
I am. My name is Jake. I'm an alcoholic. No, just kidding.
No, that's me.
Wrong meeting. The for those who might be new fans of Relay who don't know about my existence, I used to be a part of this fine crew way back in the olden times, back when we had a different brand other than Relay, and we had to
and you were
switch
part of
it
Relay.
for reasons. And then I took a job
with
here.
those folks. Wow.
So, but I'm back, baby.
I really like his nickname today. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's my favorite episode of any show that we ever did. It was the best introduction to the show we possibly have ever done ever. It was so good.
I need to find that one again.
I'm gonna find it. And just go on my Twitter. I'll reply to this show with the
that
clip.
intro?
I'll find it.
Yes.
It was.
I can find it. I'll need like 10 minutes to find it, but I remember it was a beef cast. So, because we were talking about Red Dead. That's how I remember. Yeah, because that was the one where I was like, that would be a great slogan in Red. Like you just wanted to deliver mail in Red Dead, and we were like, the slogan for the post office is "We deliver." It's got layers to it, you know?
Yeah.
Like
It does. Yes.
literally we deliver, but also we deliver. Yeah. Hi, Stardrath.
So, Jake, it's been a bit. It's been a bit.
Yeah.
How have you been?
What are you doing these days?
In a constant state of panic, at all times, always. No, so
That's fun.
I started at CIG back in November 2020.
In the midst of the pandemic, so it's actually been a week.
Yeah. It feels like it sometimes. I still feel like it's my first day. I started off as my job title then was community specialist. Because I was hired. Yeah. I was hired specifically for my my previous data analytics experience, because I did that for like 3 years. And I was a spreadsheet jockey basically. And
I also played Eve.
Yeah. See, I was doing that after work, so it was really twice the experience. I can't believe they're integrating with Excel. That's so ridiculous. Anyway,
It's perfect. It's perfect.
it's perfect, but also, oh my god.
Way to lean into it, right?
And I say ridiculous with nothing but love in my heart, because that is just it's truly it gives me hopes and dreams, basically, that anything's possible in this world. But so I started to do that, and they're like, yeah, you're going to be working in spreadsheets a lot. Like, what's your experience with it? Managing a lot of data. They were kind of talking about my experience content creating and stuff. And I say this was Xylo. And I was like, okay, yeah. And they hired me. And Xylo calls me up and he's like, all right, now do you want to know what you're working on? I'm like, sure. Yeah, that would be great. And
Generally helpful.
What code?
And he's like, I actually just posted a blog post on Spectrum, and you should read it. And it was outlining the release of the new revamped public roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like screenshots and all that, and he's like, the entire back end is powered by a lot of what you have been doing, so it was a very natural fit. And he's like, but I could have hired anybody in data analysis, but the reason why we went with you is because you have like this tribal knowledge of the star citizen community. And I'm like, yeah. I do. So he's like, and that's the reason why, like, you could have been on the data analysis team, but I actually wanted somebody on my team, the community team. So yeah. And then it was about a month and a little over a month of just the most intense I think I've ever worked ever in my life up until that point to get that thing online. And then we did, and then we took a week off because the studio's closed, and we came back, and I was like, all right, we're in maintenance mode. I'm going to be updating this thing every 2 weeks. It's going to be great. And I realized that I had a lot of free time on my hands because I was hired to do that one thing, and everybody thought it was going to be this crazy intense job that would take a lot of attention, and it did when we brought it online. But then now that we're updating it, I use just diff checks and just change things as they go. It's not terribly complex. It takes about it's probably about 20% of my workload right now. But it was also 20% of my workload back then, and I didn't have anything else. So I was like, boss man, please, sir, I would like some more.
Is that how you refer to Xylo in normal parlance, boss man?
Actually, yes. I call him boss man. I specifically use boss Mang from The Expanse.
Perfect.
But yes, absolutely do. What was I saying? So yeah, he was like, okay, cool. He started giving me like a few things here and there. I actually, he was like, we've been building all of our comm links in HTML, and it's built in the back end of HTML. Remember the old style comm links with like dark background, blue text?
Yep.
And he's like, we're actually building out our new front end for the website. You get to work with Turbulent, since you've been working with Turbulent this whole time on the roadmap, and just learn everything you can about it, and then you can start building our posts for us. So that's what I started to do. And then someone left the company at the time, and Jared needed a pair of hands to publish YouTube videos, because he didn't have time to, like, once it was all the way to the end, he needed somebody for that hour or so every time there's a video to get it on YouTube, get everything populated, add to playlists, make the thumbnails, write the descriptions, like all of that stuff. And I'm like, I've been doing that for how long for Relay? I could do that. That's easy. And little by little, I just started adding responsibilities. And then I got promoted in April 2021 to associate community manager. And this April, I was promoted to just plain old community manager. So, yeah. So my job title is community manager for Star Citizen and Squadron 42.
You have 2 games. There you go.
Yes, I do.
Well, before we do have
Squadron
questions.
is far easier right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because we're not talking about it.
It's in stealth mode.
We do have a bunch of, like, we've got a list of
Yeah.
questions.
And I wanted to kind of give the preface there. But yeah.
That was actually one of the questions, and we do want people in chat to ask some questions as well,
Yeah.
because Jake is here. But
Copy
before,
paste one of y'all copy paste them into the doc, and then we'll go through them at the end.
Yep. But before we do that, just good job.
Thanks.
Yeah, congratulations, man.
I'm still, my imposter syndrome is maximum, but every day of my life, I feel like somebody's going to find out that I'm a fraud. Yeah.
I think everybody feels like that most of the time.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to get a couple of these easy questions out of the way at the bat. So, when?
robertspaceindustries.com/roadmap.
Cool. How?
Yes.
Nice.
Why?
Why not?
Fair enough.
I like that one. We kind of covered this one.
So we covered what on earth you do.
Oh no! I haven't even scratched the surface. Let me talk about.
Okay,
all the things
carry
that I
What
on.
do you do, Jake?
What do you do?
So I'm actually going to talk not just me specifically, but my team. And my team includes me, who is community manager NA, Christian, who is community manager EU, Ulf, who is lead community manager above us. There's Synthwave, who is he's a community specialist, so he's our pair of hands. He greases the wheels. We would be dead without him. There's Dan, our producer. There's Galactica, who is our social media manager, and
Doing an
then
amazing
all of
job.
she's incredible. And all of our mods. So that's Knight Rider. Oh God, I forget all of their handles. I cannot tell you their real names. I'm not going to. God, I don't remember any of their handles. Calypso, Knight Rider, Calypso, and Void Kobolds are our mods right now.
Cool.
And I think that's everybody, and Jared. So I'm gonna kind of talk about all of that stuff. Because we all kind of touch bits of all of it. So it's not really fair to say this person only does this thing and this person only does this thing. Well, Kiri, that's because Galactica is just a mountain lion and climbs things. She's on vacation in Peru right now.
And her hotel was hanging off the side of a cliff.
Yes, insane. Okay. Anyway, so our primary responsibility on the community team is communications. So when I say communications, I mean literally every single piece of public communication ever, all of it, is either directly handled by our team or it is vetted and reviewed by our team. So that includes, and I wrote all of this down just to kind of give you an idea. This week in Star Citizen, including choosing an MVP every week. Any Spectrum announcement, all of our replies on Spectrum, Reddit, social media, in-depth guides to mechanics. The last one was refueling. FAQs for events. So I just did the one for Fleet Week. Q&As for ships, as well as other stuff. Like we put together the one for server meshing in November, for example. Promotions. Turbulent builds the pages, but we vet that whole thing. So we get eyes on all of that. Contests. So our screenshot contests. I've got an awesome one coming up for Alien Week. I'm very excited.
Nice.
Monthly reports. The weekly newsletter. Like all of that stuff. And then plus so that's all the stuff that we handle. And obviously like we're CIG, right? So like we encourage our developers to interact and post as much as we can. But we try to guide them and also encourage them to do so, because some of them are especially if they come from another company, they're not used to having such direct access to the community. It just simply doesn't exist. So obviously they're not they might not be super comfortable with it right off the bat. So we offer training on how to do it. We guidance on how to write something. We do like copywriting on their posts just to make sure like they'll be like, hey, this is what I was planning to respond here. Can you give it a gander? Things like that. Basically, we consider it successful if we can get people to break out of their shell. And then so that is communications. I think I got everything. Influencer relations. So we interact with all of our I say influencer, it's just content creators in general. So YouTubers, Twitch, Instagram is on that list. TikTok is on that list. There's a really great one. Don't be hating on TikTok. TikTok is the future. It's here. It's here to stay. You got to deal with it. There's a great one that
a couple of really good TikTok accounts for for Star Citizen.
Citizen Talk is really, really good. He has an eye for cinematography that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And then but yeah, and then like social media, obviously social media, because we have a social media manager, and even like some biz dev. So like you might have noticed we did a contest for Fleet Week where the prizes were Thrustmaster sticks. We worked directly with Thrustmaster to get that hardware. We do Toby contests every once in a while. We have like the Toby discount coupons that we put out sometimes. And then but yeah, and then if you guys like stuff like that, I was authorized to tease something coming up very soon.
I mean, yes.
You might want to look back at some banter that we had on social media with the EVE Online folks. So that's coming very soon.
Doing a collaboration with Clippy? Star Clippy?
What? Listen, Clippy is missing from Office, and I'm very upset.
Which is really funny because Clippy has now showed up again in Halo Infinite, so I think that it just like jumped, like it navigated its way through the Microsoft infrastructure into Halo Infinite.
I don't know. What was I saying?
You're doing a collaboration with Clippy.
Yes. Okay. So that's just communications. So we also do we work with the video team. I publish every piece of video content that ever goes out. That included all of CitizenCon. I worked very, very hard to get every CitizenCon panel on YouTube immediately after the panel ended in 4K. It was a long day.
That sounds like a challenge.
But we also review all the content when it before it goes out, so we get early cuts of like Inside Star Citizen, for example. We also help Jared and GVP kind of schedule where things go, where like oh, this week would actually be better. Like we throw out all the subjects for like a time period, and then we shuffle them around to see like where they go, basically. We also help plan future content. Like we're working on things like CitizenCon this year. Speaking of, we are project owners for CitizenCon. So
cool.
that
makes sense.
all of that initiative is handled by our team. I handle the roadmap, which is not just pushing button input data put up button. I have to translate people's JIRAs into human. And sometimes I don't get all the way there, but I get as close as I can. I source images.
Jake, you're telling me you have some difficulty translating like technical coder dev talk
you ever read
into
the engine section of this month's monthly report is it's a good example. But yeah, and I coordinate with production and dev to like get some clarification, because sometimes things are labeled weirdly, or maybe something is a subtask that's actually part of a bigger task that's already on the roadmap, things like that. I source all the images for the roadmap myself, and I manage all the data. We also handle all press releases. So if anything goes out to press, we handle all of that. We coordinate with PR teams to do that. We also do sentiment reporting on literally everything, like everything from a contest to a patch release. We also track the data for all Twitch and YouTube, so we can see like how we're performing across the board, across all of our creators. We also help, we work with the data analysis team to put together those cool infographics for different things. We coordinate bar citizens, coming soon next week. If you're in the Austin area, come hang out with me and we'll talk about Star Wars. We're also going to be touring bar citizens coming up. We help schedule dynamic events in game. We go to conventions like Gamescom. We take point on all studio tours. Whenever a patch goes out, we handle public messaging. We review patch notes. We are basically on call to react to anything that's like burning down. We help with messaging like on the status page or message of the day. We work very closely with the player experience team on that. We assist with bug prioritization. One of my pet projects was getting somebody to work on the desync issues with ships that are in game, and we finally got it done, and I'm very excited about it. And then that is all on top of our major initiatives. So things like the Welcome Hub, the guide system. I actually started a new initiative for people who are not super familiar with the game internally, because maybe they don't work directly on the video game part of Star Citizen. I have a training program that I take people through. So that's one of my initiatives there. And the two big initiatives coming very soon is the community hub is getting completely overhauled top to bottom. And
nice.
It is incredible. And I can't wait for you guys to see it.
Nice.
And number two, we are going to be deeply embedded in, if you read the letter from the chairman, we are working on a new player experience push for Star Citizen, a better way for new players to be onboarded into the game. that we're going to be deeply involved in that. So yeah, that was a lot of stuff, and we wear all of those hats. So
it sounds like you might be busy a little bit from time to time, just a little.
But yeah, so like it's one of those things. And my boss is in chat, so he's gonna like it when I say this. Star Citizen, Cloud Imperium Games, they're pushing the envelope for video games, right?
Yep.
Everything like bleeding edge, top of the line, the best of the best, doing it all in both games as well as how we make them. And as the community team, we're striving to match that ambition in everything that we do.
I don't know why this question just like popped into my head, but are you expecting the community team to eventually include like game masters, those type of people?
Yeah. It's obviously like tech needs to come online for that stuff, but
sure.
But yeah, like in-game amplification, everybody is well aware of my boss's antics in the persistent universe, and we're only going to scale that up eventually.
Awesome. So I have a kind of interesting question. Our next question for you is, what on earth don't you do? But specifically, I want to know, since that could be a very long conversation, I want to know, what aren't you doing right now that you would like to do in the future?
Ooh, that's a good question. More amplification for sure. That's one of the things. Like I want to do cool stuff in game with people. There's one big thing that I absolutely cannot talk about, so I won't. Because
he's gonna do a big thing.
it's vague. Okay, it's the thing, like the nature of it means I can't talk about it. I'll put it that way.
Fair enough. What a tease. Yeah, that's right, Mudrick.
I
love it.
No, like but I think the big thing is yeah, I don't know. We need more people.
Yeah.
Which our company's growing literally everywhere. So I only expect our team to also grow. Which will allow for us to do a lot of other stuff that we've been wanting to do. Because all of us will have more time to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah. What a small thing that I really want to do, that I really wanted to do since I started here, is my Alien Week contest. So stay tuned for that in a couple weeks.
I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do this since before I worked. I've been wanting CIG to do one of these since before I started here, because it fits with a lot of like things that we do for sure.
So sticking with that since before you started here theme. I mean, you were a backer before you joined CIG, and CIG has hired a number of other backers as well. But you were a backer. You were part of INN for however many years, and then Relay for like. Now that you're on the other side, has your opinion of Star Citizen changed at all? Where do you still have faith?
Oh yeah. In fact, it's like it's hard to describe without like making a religious analogy, because I don't want to do that. One, like I got to see like progress on Squadron 42, and I'm gonna echo like everything like Chris has said. It's absolutely moving along, and it is amazing. So I can't wait for you guys to see more.
Neither
but,
can we.
I know. When the time is right, for sure. But no, like it's one thing to be like kind of told about the really awesome things that that all the developers are working on, but to see it firsthand is a whole nother level. We have the most talented people in the industry working here, and it's such a privilege that I'm able to not only work with them but talk about their work, which not a lot of game developers get to do very often. And and especially like working on the roadmap, I get to see the project at a very high level, like across every single discipline, every single team. And it's awesome, and we work with some amazing people too. So like to meet like a few of your heroes and realize that they're just great, awesome, solid, insanely intelligent people. It is super, super amazing.
Speaking of heroes, does Chris smell as nice as I remember?
See, that's the thing. I got hired during the pandemic. I have not met Chris in person since I started working here. But Tyler does, though.
Awesome.
I still have a bone to pick with Tyler. He interviewed me, and that interview never aired anywhere, and I was sad.
Yeah, Tyler, what the hell?
Where's the footage at?
I think this one just ties in really well. This question was someone asked in chat. Ared asked, how was lunch with Tony Zurovec?
Oh, yeah, that did happen. That was great. Can confirm Tony is the exact same person you see on camera that he is in person.
I got that feeling.
And I just kind of sat there and just let it like wash over me. Just knowledge. It was great. It was great.
That's awesome.
Pizza was pretty good too.
We kind of touched this one. Well, how has your perspective on the community changed since you were hired?
So and that's kind of the thing, is like it didn't writ large. But what is great is because being involved with the community is my full-time job now. I have a lot more time to interact with people that I really didn't before I worked here. And people can attest that I'm literally in everybody's Discord. Because I love just talking to people, and the thing to know about the Star Citizen community more than I would say any other community is our community is so well informed about not only our game but how games are made. And I said this on the captain's table last week, but like, hats off to Jared, man. Like he does so much legwork for this stuff, and especially because he highlights developers and teams that wouldn't normally get hired. And like our community has like a huge appreciation for our QA team, for example. And like that's not something you would find in another community. So yeah, our community is extremely well informed about the project, as compared to other video games, like by a mile. They're also the most welcoming community that I've ever been a part of. Like you get anybody who's like, I'm thinking about trying this Star Citizen thing, and the whole community's like, let's go. What do you want to do? What do you want to see? Come check out this ship. Do you want to hop in a turret? Let's do this.
Come join us. We're not a cult. No.
No, but like
sane.
but like compare it to like your experience running like a high level dungeon for the first time in another MMO, and you're like, hey, like I don't know what I'm doing, I don't really know the fights, and you get the response of like, get out of here, like we don't want you here. That's just so the polar opposite in the Star Citizen community, and I love that. Because our game encourages cooperation. In fact, you're so much more powerful and successful when you do cooperate with other people.
The hijinks are so much better.
Yeah, and there's ships that you just can't use effectively if you're not cooperating with other people. So, those two big things is like the community is super well informed. They're also immensely creative, and they're the most welcoming community I've ever seen, really.
I'm gonna let Shiver ask the next question. He's been too quiet, so I'm gonna harass him.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
A woodchuck would chuck all that he could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
He'd chuck hardwood, softwood, redwood, dogwood, something hickory beech.
What's been your biggest challenge so far in your role at CIG?
I think it's my own confidence in my writing ability. I have never like I've written professionally. Like I was in a lot of sales roles where we would be writing emails to like big companies, like writing to like CTOs and stuff like that. But I've never written for a large audience, and kind of growing into that has been a huge challenge. But I'm extremely grateful. My team is so good at what they do, and they're also so like we check each other's work constantly. Like even like Xylo, he's the director for our team, but he'll send me something that he wrote for a post, and he's like, "Hey, check this out. Does this sound okay?" Like that's how we operate. And if I didn't have that, I don't know if I would have had the success that I have. And it's not just Xylo either. It's the whole team. We all do it for each other. And yeah, I don't know if I would have been successful without it. It's absolutely been my biggest struggle for sure. I'm getting better.
Awesome. All right, Shiver didn't want to ask it. I'm going to ask the silly question.
Okay.
What's your favorite planet and favorite system in Star Citizen, and has it changed recently?
Yes, it changed immediately when I got to CIG. My favorite planet is Pyro 3. It's
nice.
It's Earth-like, but it is both Earth-like and alien at the same time.
Ooh.
And
cool.
Y'all have seen it. It was it was the CitizenCon demo. That's why I love it so much. It's like the grass is yellow, like, and the rocks are black, and it feels welcoming but also strange at the same time. It's like straight out of a Star Trek episode,
which is perfect.
Yeah.
Sure. Shout out to Strange New Worlds.
Yes. Oh my God. It's so good. It's so good. Strange New Worlds is so good.
Exactly.
It's the best Star Trek since Deep Space Nine. Period.
Yeah.
Not
without
I can't even. And I love Disco. I love Picard. I love Voyager and Enterprise. I love all of them. But we're back, baby. Strange New Worlds is cemented Star Trek back in the zeitgeist for me. Favorite system has always and forever shall be the Nyx system.
Nick's system.
Something about it. I've also started to become very partial to Magnus. Paul has had an influence on me on that because he loves Drake, man.
That's funny.
But where Drake is headquartered, it's like Space Detroit. It's very like moody.
Space Detroit. That's very evocative.
But like, yeah, but it's got a look to it.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah,
that if
We're waiting
Magnus
for it.
becomes your favorite system, it gets a new first name of Ultra.
Are we gonna do we need to contact some people? Cross promotion, sponsorship. Yes. Okay.
No, just do it without permission. Fuck it. Hasbro, cool. Let's do it. They've never done.
I'm sure Toast will appreciate it.
Jake,
yeah.
How's Pyro?
Oh, Pyro's great. Pyro's wonderful. And that if you look on Progress Tracker, you'll see, all like there's two location teams that are fully 100% on Pyro. Like that is what they're doing.
Is it true that Pyro is a massive system
it's
in comparison to
Yeah,
that's what I thought. It's much larger than Stanton.
Plus there's 6 planets. But
oh my god. Well, at least
fewer,
you took on an easy one after Stanton.
Fewer moons, but more planets. But yeah, they're fleshing everything out. Outposts, space stations, all kinds of cool stuff. And we're kind of ramping up our road to 4.0 stuff. So you'll start to see more and more and more of it in ISC. And all kinds of other stuff too. So
Nice.
When we're in 4.0, will the official term for people in it be called, foreplay?
Yes.
Yeah. That needs to be in the trailer for the patch.
Yeah. All game mechanics.
It's time for Star Citizen foreplay.
Perfect. Ship it.
All right. Of the things that you have done so far at CIG in your 2 years now?
We're coming up on 2 years.
What's your success story? What are you most proud of? Go.
There's a couple things. One is helping the player experience team get vehicle desync prioritized. And getting that much better. For especially the people who like PvP and ship combat and like the low flyers, the racers, it has made an absolute world of difference. And that was a huge win, and I'm pretty proud of that. The other thing is, I'm believe it or not, I'm actually very happy with the roadmap changes that I put in at the beginning of this year. If y'all have noticed, since then there's not been a huge amount of like things getting moved around constantly, or like it's a much more reliable system, and that was my entire goal with it. Is I wanted the roadmap to be a reliable source of information. I think we're getting there.
It is. The roadmap's great. I want to make a quick comment on it because I like the stability in the roadmap, and I really also like that ISC. That's what it's called right now, right?
Inside Star Citizen.
Yeah, ISC has been doing the further exploration of other stuff and like giving us more, because we missed that for a while. ISC has been just stupendous the last year.
what's cool is and part of the reason for that is the progress tracker, because it helps Jared and his team, and as well as our team, have visibility on everything. So we can actually look ahead and be like, hey, here's what's coming up. Let's see if we can talk to those teams to be able to show off some of their work. So
it's been great seeing that stuff a little bit earlier, because as Star Citizen backers, we're all here for the journey. We want to see that whole long, like, we want to see things as they start, as they're incepted and as they move along. But we also,
it's also a big initiative that hats off to the Montreal sandbox team. They have absolutely taken it in stride, and we've actually taken kind of this journey with them with the Reclaimer derelicts. We showed you them at the beginning of the pipeline, so like white box, early viz dev, concept art, like things like that, and we're all the way now seeing them pretty much at final art, and they're in 3.17 too. So
how's it
so excited.
How is it working with the team of Canadians, and are they the best group? The best.
They're pretty great. They're pretty great.
CIG.
They're pretty great. I have a very good relationship with their producers, which you guys met some of them on an SCL not terribly long ago. So, great people working on cool stuff.
That was the first thing I ever did really for INN, was interview Turbulent.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
I interviewed Ilphonic.
Yeah.
You did. Yes.
And also Travis Day. That was a good interview.
Yeah.
That was a good interview,
oh goodness.
March 2015.
There you go, man.
Sure.
Aside from Relay.sc, specifically me, what are you most disappointed in so far?
Of Relay.sc?
No, aside from
that.
Aside from Relay, what are you the most disappointed in?
Like in life?
No, since you joined.
I mean,
this is supposed to be the hard hitting question.
What is the most disappointing thing that you've had in life so far? Is it footlongs being 10 inches long? Because I am not over that. I'm never going to get over that. That's fucking rubbish.
I can't really say
House
that.
of Pancakes in America. That's not Interfucking-National. There's a long list.
There's one in Canada, so they pulled it off.
Denny's superior 24-hour breakfast.
Oh man.
I don't really know of anything. Like I saw this question. I was actually trying to think of something, and no, there's not a lot that I am. I'm a very glass half full kind of person, so I might even be the wrong person to ask. But I don't know. You know what? No, I have a very cop out. I have a very cop out answer. I'm not a fan of the particular coffee roast.
Oh, I was going to say, you're disappointed that you don't have anything to be disappointed in.
No. Yeah, no, like I love my job. I've never been taken care of as an employee ever in my life this well. So
how
I pretend Silo's not in the chat. What's the real answer?
I gave you the real answer, Trevor.
I actually this is oh wait, you just there you are.
Hi.
You're back. Like this is not something that we'd asked, but every once in a while, because it's Star Citizen, I see, ex-CIG employee says everything is terrible and the sky is falling, and like how you've worked at a number of different places throughout,
a number is an understatement.
A number of what actually, like, for people out there that are wondering, what is the experience as an employee at CIG, and like you started during the pandemic. How has CIG's support for the pandemic been, and what's happening now that, at least in the States, things are sort of
yeah.
Good description of it, David. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm going to answer Arid's question real quick. He said, standard question, BMM in production.
Nice. Good answer.
It's
Nailed it.
being built right now. No, but for real, like working at CIG it's the best company I've ever worked for. It's the kind of the best thing about it, more than anything else, is there's no walls between departments. Everybody kind of collaborates with each other, and it's very easy to ask people questions. It was kind of crazy, like 4 or 5 months into my tenure here. I was like, I typed to, like, I think probably like Tyler or something, and I was like, hey, who would know the answer to this? And he's like, oh, shoot Todd a message, he'll probably know. I'm like, I'm sorry.
What?
You mean Todd Pappy, right? What?
That's not how this works, is it?
But Todd's great. Like he's like, oh yeah, gave me the answer very quickly. Like, and like it's the same with any of those people. John Crew, Ben Dorsey. I love talking to Ben. Ben loves his work. And he is always happy to talk about it.
It's funny because I spent like 6 hours this week drafting a letter for my director to send up to my DG to push down to the other directors. And it's like,
yeah,
man,
that's not how we do it, man. But like, I mean, there's chain of command and things like that, like how departments work. But like for simple stuff, like just asking a question, things like that, there's no barriers. We don't, like, we treat our QA team like they're gods, because they are. And like
I can only imagine the QA on Star Citizen is like fever inducing.
Yeah, well, and it's kind of cool because we have 2 different disciplines of QA. So there's Dev QA, which are all embedded in every team. So like they test the features as they're being built. And then there's Live QA. Live QA tests Star Citizen as a game. So they're like, they don't test anything that's not deployed onto a live server, whether that's in Evocati internal server or something like that. But it has to be on the live environment. That's why they're called Live QA. And we just massively expanded that department. So nice. It's awesome. But yeah, so that right there, the culture is incredible. In terms of like standard employment things, I echo what I said previously, is that I have never felt more taken care of as an employee ever in my life. And I'm not going to go into like a ton of details, but anybody who is applying and concerned about like standard work things that you are like being provided, I repeat, I have never been more taken care of as an employee. It's wonderful.
It seems to be an ongoing thing that, you know, there's just no communication at work. We've got like 2 people in the chat saying it as well. I know where I work, there's no communication either between people, and it's just me. I work for myself, so yeah.
Can't even get the 2 sides of the brain to like have a chat at all. All right. Given what's on the roadmap right now, what are you personally most excited to see in the backers' hands? And what are you most excited for that's not on the roadmap?
Okay. Well, that's an easy one. It's Squadron. The second one is Squadron 42. But for the first one, there's a few things. Number one is I'm really excited for, if you go on the roadmap, there's a group of deliverables called the player interaction experience. And that's going to overhaul everything from like your visor HUD to the hint system. It touches things like lockers and it's a huge like lift of it's a tons of quality of life changes, basically. Like it's whatever the opposite of death by 1,000 cuts is. Like, what's the opposite of that?
Life by 1,000 blowjobs.
Yes,
Nailed it.
perfect. Nailed it. But yeah, that stuff I'm absolutely looking forward to. I think AI planetary nav mesh is going to be super cool. And then literally every dynamic event. It's Siege of, you think Siege of Orison is cool? Just wait. it's awesome. They're working on some cool stuff.
I love the idea of planetary nav mesh because that's been one of the questions in my head for a long time. Is like, okay, great, you have this enormous play space. You have to know where you are in it. That's not easy.
Yeah.
And also, everybody has to be able to move around in it, including the AI, without them just smashing into stuff. So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay, Jake, given that we haven't seen anything from Squadron realistically in quite a long time. One, you've seen it. Are you excited for it? And two,
Extremely.
because we can't see it. When are seeing that you can show it to us? And two, can you just paint us a picture with your words?
No.
Oh.
And you know, my answer to this will always be my answer to this. You will know when we're going to start talking about Squadron 42.
Would the clue be that you start talking about Squadron 42?
That could be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it going to be me going into a theater and all of a sudden there's a trailer for Squadron 42 on the screen?
Who knows, man? We could do anything.
When are you
going to
start talking about Squadron 42? Well, when we start to talk about Squadron 42.
Yeah. I'm excited.
What answer did you expect when you asked that, Eris?
Sometimes you got to ask the question that you...
RobertSpaceIndustries.com/roadmap.
I expected nothing else. But it's a question that needs to be asked.
I'm glad.
It was a very unsubtly disguised when question.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. That's why I gave him the when answer.
So this is, I suppose, technically your first like games industry job.
Yes.
Because INN wasn't really a job. How's it been? How is
everybody thinks it was? INN drink.
It was a second bloody job for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of work.
Now you get paid for jobs.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about this.
We talked a lot about this kind of stuff, but specifically the games industry aspect, like, is it...
It's wild. And it's such a small world. Like, I have made like crazy connections to people, like just on social media, just because like I exist and like I get to talk to some of my heroes, basically. Especially like I think the biggest privilege of like just being in the industry is being able to talk to some of the people who work on the Respawn community team. Because they are, other than our own team and what we've been able to do and what CIG has done community-wise in the past, Respawn is my biggest inspiration, like bar none, not even a question. Everybody, like I play a lot of Apex, but it's not just Apex, it's Titanfall, it's Star Wars, the whole kit and caboodle. What they do is amazing. and being able to tell people how much I love their work coming from a professional space is really, really cool. And I really like that. And also, like, the people I work with come from everywhere. And like,
Yep.
I'll just like, we'll just be casually in a meeting talking about a game, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I worked on that," and I'm like,
Of course you did.
"Of course." There's people who work at Star Citizen that worked on The Mandalorian.
Wow.
So like,
Is it just your nerd dream come true?
Yes, extreme. Yes, 1,000%. 1,000%.
Wow.
Okay, so this is a very random question.
Yeah,
but it has to do with this sort of. Do you follow the development of Baldur's Gate 3 at all?
Not super closely
because
Sven, it hurts me.
Oh, I want it so badly.
I want it
so badly. Anyway, every bloody like update video they have, Sven appears in like full plate mail.
Yeah.
So my question is, when is Chris gonna show up to do an update in full spacesuit, helmet, I'll do it. And all? You'll do it? Okay, good.
Let's just say there's some camera opportunities coming up that I could do this in.
Perfect.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Jake. I'm holding you to it.
Can't wait to see it.
Oh yeah, I love Larian. Larian's amazing. Oh. Larian, hey, Larian, if you're listening to this, make a Star Wars game.
I think they're going to be busy with Baldur's Gate 3 for the foreseeable future.
I'm not saying right now. Just eventually.
I never even imagined Star Wars done by...
I know! Are you kidding me?
Oh, wow. I think Shiver should be next for question.
But Baldur's Gate. Moriar, I've never played Escape from Tarkov.
Escape from Tarkov.
So I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified to answer that question. I want to. I would like free time to play video games in general.
Speaking of free time,
I'm an adult.
Do you want to ask the next question?
How much time a week would you say you spend in game? What? Who asked that question? What? What? Why is that a question?
It depends on the week.
Because I'm curious.
What's your favorite thing to do when you do get a bit of time to play Star Citizen?
Well, no, I play it for work all the time. Because like, especially.
What do you like to do when you're doing it for work?
Well, the thing that puts me in game the most is when I write. Yes. I like to harass our content creators, such as one of my absolute favorites, Aurelia, into accepting fuel from me for free. But
you need to
aside
play
from that,
the song.
I know. So listen, the sugar plum fueler needs an audio upgrade. Is basically what I'm going to say there. But no, like the whole reason why I wanted to do that, and actually I'm going to, it just our lack of friends list for a little bit there made it kind of difficult for me to do it. But I really like writing comprehensive guides for our new features. And in order to do that, I have to spend a lot of time with that feature for like weeks. So because it's not just doing the thing, it's finding the edge cases, finding the places where you can cooperate, and also taking a bunch of screenshots, literally everywhere. So like I was able to find out some really cool things about refueling that I didn't know and wasn't in the ISC episode. Like basically how easily you can how cooperative it is at a base level. Like you can do it all by yourself on a Starfare if you want to, but it's inherently designed to be more efficient the more people you have. And I thought that was really cool. But yeah, so and then I also run our like our training workshops. So that's usually a few hours a week, but so probably like 10, 15 hours a week, I want to say. At least. Depends on the week. But I play a lot.
Shiver. Given that you hate the questions that Nakara and I have written, what would you like to ask Jake?
He's trying to come up with a joke.
Oh, really? That's on the question list? Really? You put that on there?
Which one?
That's
what number?
Jesus Christ. 20 and
this
21.
One?
What's the fucking point?
Oh, man. I love it.
Can't ask number 19.
21 is the best question on here.
If you had free reign over the roadmap,
Mm-hmm.
what features would you choose to add?
Ooh, great question.
Thank you. I thought so too.
I would like to add the ability. So everybody always always kind of brings up that items on the progress tracker aren't indicative of how finished they are. And I don't think we'll ever share that because then people like to assign timelines that they formulate in their brains for it. What I would like to do that is kind of like meeting that halfway is be able to show if there's dependencies.
Yeah.
And we show it to an extent by showing you what like what teams are working on what, but like if work stopped on something, I'd like to be able to like I'll say why in the roadmap roundup, but then like months go by, right? I would like that to be visible on the roadmap somehow. And there's not a good way to do it with the current system I have. So I just need a dev.
You can't paste like a little like yield sign or something over the top.
I mean, I could do that with a post-it note, sure, but like I don't know how to code.
Mudchuck actually has a question that's sort of related to this that they asked earlier. Can the roadmap show a different end on the graph to indicate if there's more work scheduled versus the end of a feature?
So we wouldn't do that, just because like that can change week to week. And like I would much rather show if there's a dependency for that reason, because it's like basically the problem with sharing like where in development something is people assign when to that, and that's and I don't want to set any expectations, because if I say it's in this phase of development, that could mean they're 3 weeks away or 6 months away, depending on which feature we're talking about. So it like I don't want people to internalize a date based on a different type of feature, because they see like that there's more work to be scheduled at any given point. So I like, again, I feel like showing dependencies would be a good way to meet halfway on that. So
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask this question since it's obviously not me who wrote it.
Hold on, real quick. Agent asked Jake, will max crew be a major thing? Some large ships have a very small max crew. Not necessarily max crew, but life support will absolutely be a factor that you have to worry about.
So maybe you could like upgrade your life support.
Yep. Actually, yes. So the life support will be a component. So I don't know beyond that, other than that it is a physicalized component like all of our other ones. But that is going in production this year. So
I'm gonna overclock my life support to get that last guy in my
more soon TM, and that's all going to tie into resource management, which is like resource management is like managing your power systems, your fuel systems, your capacitors, your relays, all of those things. So it's all goes hand in hand.
Sorry,
I'm reasonably
Eric.
excited. I'm unreasonably excited for the full resource management of Star Citizen to actually be done, because it will be insane.
Yeah,
because it ties into everything, right? The ships and the space stations and
most of Dan Truffin's team is working on that right now.
So cool.
The most important question of all: will we be able to have coffee makers on all ships?
I'm going to say yes, but having the ability to use them is another question.
That's a fair answer.
All right. Without telling you who wrote this, I'm going to ask this question. Where exactly is the gold standard pass of the freelancer on the schedule?
No, David ruined that for himself.
No, that was great, and I loved it, and I don't care.
How many extra months are added on to the schedule
Absolutely
whenever David asks that question?
18.
And I'm going to keep asking it. And I'm going to keep asking it. You know why? The ship that's done last is the ship that's going to be done best.
Good job, David. All right.
Okay. Another question that's completely serious. Which food are you most excited to see procedurally eaten in Squadron 42?
Benny's.
I like it. Good
Noodles. Give me that udon.
I never got to eat the Benny's noodles because it was too busy and I'm sad.
Oh.
And
you'll have another chance.
They put udon in ramen?
Is Benny's specifically ramen?
I think it is.
Is it not?
I think it is. It says
is it?
Benny.
I thought it was just noodles. So I just went with noodle.
Uncle Roger will not approve of this.
I do love Uncle Roger. I've learned a lot from that man.
I will never take MSG through an airport. They think it's different white powder.
I couldn't live without MSG, man. I don't know. Y'all, use MSG in your food. Do it. It's not bad for you. That's a racist stereotype.
Not any worse than salt. It's basically exactly the same thing.
It's literally in some food you already eat.
Yeah. Just do it. It's just instant.
It's this. Look, it's people go.
It's pure flavor.
What happened?
All right, hold on.
We're getting destroyed with walls of text. I like it.
Oh no.
This happened on the captain's table like 2 hours ago also.
Wow.
Oh. I'm gonna read this question now.
You're a part of it, shouldn't? What? Don't you mean you're part of the? What?
Yeah, Moriar, you're basically saying like new player experience needs to be overhauled, and we agree. If you read Chris's letter, he mentioned that is a big initiative this year. So
awesome.
I had significant problems with that. I had significant problems with that the first time I got a wanted level because I looked on the official Star Citizen, like CIG's how to deal with wanted level, and it was like the only place you go is to Port Korea. And I went there, and there were a bunch of people just camped there to kill me, and it was sad. I didn't know there were other places to get rid of your wanted level. I hate wanted level. I hate it.
Thank you, Shiver.
It'll be more fun to deal with soon.
That's good.
Who's your favorite person to work with at CIG, and why is it not Xylo?
Oh, I have big love for Xylo. He believed in me. How could I not?
Xylo threatened my freelancer.
He did, and so did I, dude.
Fair.
I'm not going to pick favorites, but I am going to take this opportunity to shout out my newest cohort in crime, Galactica, who is an absolute breath of fresh air to our team. I work with her probably the closest, other than Xylo, who I definitely work with the closest of anyone at CIG. She has taken to this game so fast, and I love it. And she has like this like hunger to learn everything about Star Citizen, and it's great. She streams it on the weekends sometimes. Like it's I can't say enough good things. And she's I was the lone memester on our team, and I'm so happy that we have hired another meme lord to join us, and also a big weeb.
CIG's Twitter game has definitely gone like 500% up. It's been great.
See, here's the thing: when we were considering people,
except this last weekend, like the last week or so, just
I'll tell Tyler you said that. No, so they were like, we're thinking of hiring this person, and she worked on World of Warships, and I was like, oh really? And I had never played World of Warships ever in my life.
It's a great game.
Niskavian, you are perpetually late to the show, man. It has been years. Okay, anyway. What's up, bud?
Jake's not even part of Relay, and he's castigating Niskavian for being late.
I love you, Niskavian. It's just very funny to me. But I was looking through her post, and she literally made like a Legend of the Galactic Heroes meme several times about World of Warships, and I know that has flown over all three of your heads. I'm hoping Aurelia can back me up. I don't know if she's seen it, but I was like, I saw that and I was like, sold. Like, bring her on board. Done. Easy. Awesome. It's a very niche anime that not a lot of people have seen. Yeah. Okay. See. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, done. I'm sold. But yeah, she's great. I'm super happy to have her on the team.
We've got a couple of other questions throughout that we've captured. We need more though. Ask. This is your last chance to ask Jake questions.
Yeah.
For who knows how long. So ask him. But Mud Trucker had asked, "Is Star Citizen hardware dead?"
I wouldn't say dead. I was just like, nothing's ever fully dead at Star Citizen. That's kind of the cool thing about it. But obviously there were changes at Mad Catz that that kind of put things on hold. But yeah, no,
Can you also
just on hold.
Can you also go with a better maker than Mad Catz next time?
Well, they don't exist anymore, David.
Yes, that's why I can say that without any fear. Right? I can.
Yeah.
No, they're gone. They were folded into Logitech.
It's Logitech.
Whom I like.
Oh,
whom
God.
I like. I like.
Why?
They make the
I
best
say that
mouse.
as someone with a Logitech mouse and keyboard. They are great big piles of shite now. they use cheapy Chinese knockoff switches in the mouse. The fucking G910 is known to just drop dead after a while. And then they tried to screw me out of my warranty until I actually said, no, you can't do that. And then they finally gave in. No, Logitech are no longer very good.
There's a new G303. I kind of want to try it, to be honest. But I'm kind of with you. Old Dirty Hermit, I'm glad there are 3 of us here who have seen it. Both, actually, which is why I was impressed.
Nice.
Logitech's the only mouse I've found.
Dolvak's favorite anime.
Really?
Fun fact.
I missed Dolvak.
Does Xylo wear anything else than Hawaiian shirts to work?
No, he does not.
Excellent.
He's on brand every day.
That's perfect.
Nothing but Hawaiian shirts. He wears nothing, just a Hawaiian shirt.
Just the Hawaiian shirt. Yeah.
Extra short
Well,
Hawaiian
with the
shirt.
work from home thing, you don't need the pants anymore, right? So
who wears pants?
I'm not wearing pants.
Why would you?
I never have.
Malkari asked a question long ago. I heard actual
like in your life or on the show?
Yes.
Okay.
Malkari had asked long ago. I heard actual meteorologists, planetologists, etc.
Malkari asks, long ago, I heard actual meteorologists, planetologists, etc. were helped with ideas on how planets and moons are in the game. Are there experts in any field that CIG contracts with to chime in on stuff?
I'm going to say I have 0 idea.
I thought that was the answer.
I'm going to say probably.
I have a follow-up question.
Why are you working in fields? Is it because the offices aren't completed yet?
I have a follow-up question.
Yes.
There was some Twitter coordination, like chatter back and forth several months ago between CIG and the Planetary Society.
Yes.
That happening still?
Is there any? Find out.
Okay, I'll poke him again.
Issue 4 press releases.
There are no people on Earth that I want to collaborate with more. So
yeah. There's no one on Earth that I want you to collaborate with more.
Nobody.
Get
the Planetary
that
Society
to happen.
Nobody.
All right. Do you have any more questions here? Oh, there we go. We got one from Agent 1213. Will all fighter ships have some form of storage for at least a rifle?
All? I
That's
don't
the question.
think so.
Could you just throw your rifle into the cockpit?
I don't think the Buccaneer does.
Oh, man.
I could be wrong.
I just had visions of your rifle like bouncing around the inside of your cockpit as you fly around.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the person to ask. You got to remember, I'm the guy who tells you what the devs tell me.
Yep.
So, like, I'm plugged in, but I'm not like,
on the
I'm
front
not
line.
sitting next to every team. You know? Again, high level.
I have to say, I loved on Twitter, Jared, I think it was Jared saying that early in development, they couldn't figure out why the Hornet kept exploding on people.
Yes, one of my favorite stories of all time.
And it was because there was a flashlight on the player character that would hit the interior of the cockpit of the Hornet for 1 damage every time it hit until the Hornet exploded. Yeah. So maybe don't throw your gun.
Thing ever.
Don't throw your gun into the inside of the cockpit.
Yeah, I don't know the specifics.
That's awesome. Malkari asks, can we get a bit more notice for the next round of official bar citizens? It's not such an event that many would travel for, but between maybe travel and time, it was a bit quick.
So yes, but also keep in mind that these aren't the only ones that we will be at. Especially since you're saying travel specifically. We did not expect anyone to travel for this because it's not an event. Like it's not like like there's no panels, there's no Q&As, there's no we're hanging out and having beer and wings.
Fair enough.
So yeah, we did not expect anybody to travel for this. The other half of the announcement that not a lot of people saw for some reason is like the community team is going to be taking developers to Bar Citizens worldwide this year. That's why we don't expect you to travel, is because we're coming to you.
I'm going to choose. I'll ask Moriar's question, but I want Shiver to ask Niskavian's question after, because it's awesome. Moriar the Chosen asks, will the Drake Mule qualify as a contender for Ship of the Year?
I hope so, but I actually don't know. I don't remember what the cutoff is. I don't remember if it's ships made like before 2022 or if like the start of Ship Showdown is the cutoff.
Okay.
I don't remember which one. If it's the latter, then yes. If it's the former, then no. I don't know. I don't remember what the cutoff is.
All right, it's Shiver time.
Elias asks, when the Endeavour comes out, can I have it drifting through space? Then when someone is exploring my biodome, jump out of the bushes screaming, I am the keeper of this grove! Too long didn't read. Can I roleplay a space druid?
Do whatever your heart desires.
Okay.
That's the tagline for Star Citizen right there.
Yes.
Jake.
Yes.
We don't want to keep you too much longer. We are just about at the end here. There
Don't
is
fucking
one
like him. We want to keep him as long as we can.
Oh.
And more.
I mean, I'd just have you back every week like it used to be, because I miss the old days, but that's because I'm horrible. What is something that you would like to share that we didn't ask about?
Ooh. Good question. I was supposed to think about this.
We did give you these questions like a week in advance because we're professional.
I thought about
journalists.
most of them. I would say that's so hard. Because like I love the community, man. I wouldn't ask anything of you guys. But also like yeah, I think I gave you the question that I wanted you to ask, and you were going to ask it anyway, which is, what does a community manager do at CIG? Because not a lot of people know like what in the heck a community manager does, and the answer is a hell of a lot of things. I guess maybe the thing I want to leave is like, while my journey to working here has been unique, I think the thing that I would suggest to people is, if you want to work with us, like as an employee, never stop trying, but also never stop growing while you wait. Because and I've told this story on this show many times. Thanks for the sub, Carbide.
The Connie is not awesome.
I gotta
the Connie
do
is
it.
A horrible ship. Jake, doing the wiggle.
Yeah, gotta do it. So I applied for this job that I currently hold today in 2016. And it was back when Jared was a community manager. And I went through 2 rounds of interviews, and everybody that I talked to liked me. Jared, Ben, Sandy. And then I didn't get it. And that was because Chris, somebody caught his eye within the company who was spending not enough time doing QA like he was supposed to. And instead was spending a lot of time with the community, answering their questions and just being engaging. And they were like, you know what, it looks like you've got a knack for it. You should take the job. And he did. And his name is Tyler Witkin.
Never heard.
And we paid him for
it. What you're saying is that Tyler stole your job.
Absolutely, he did. But I'm going to tell you right now, if I took that job, I probably would have been really terrible at it. I was in a far different place professionally, and I was in a far worse place mentally. And I would have done an absolutely terrible job. But the thing is in that 5 years, I grew a lot as a person, and I grew a lot professionally. Like, I added a lot more skills to my repertoire. I also got kind of expanded like who like I was talking to in the community, kind of branched out a little bit. I was playing more of the game because the game was in a better place ever since 3.7 was the big turning point. But even since like 3.4, 3.5, I was playing a lot more than I had used to. And I applied for QA. I applied for studio management, just like fill in coffee carafes and buying snacks for the studio and things like that. Like I wanted in no matter what. And I applied a bunch of times, and then the right opportunity came by. And also, like, I hate the phrase networking. Mm-hmm. But I absolutely, like, whenever I had any sort of opportunity to talk to developers at an event, whether that was CitizenCon, PAX, a Bar Citizen, you name it, I seized that opportunity. And I don't want to say I made my name known, because really I was doing it for myself. I was doing it to expand knowledge of the game and how things worked, because I loved it so much. And because of that, like, I made friends. And that
also because you weren't weird about it.
Yeah. Don't be weird about it.
Because I've seen
don't
people
interrogate people. Yeah, don't interrogate people. But also, people love talking about their work. And if you approach it from that standpoint of like I want to learn more about what you do because I love what you do and I want to understand it better, and not from a place of like, when is this coming so I can have it. That's always super huge. But basically what I'm trying to say is never stop growing, even if you don't feel like you are. Never stop like pushing yourself towards it. And especially and if you get that rejection letter like I did 5 years ago, don't get discouraged either. Working in this industry is about as high demand as it gets. And we have a very passionate community who would jump at the chance to work here. So you are in a sea of people, and there's not really one thing that I could say that's like, do this thing to get noticed, because that's going to be different for literally every hiring manager, you know. But never stop trying and never stop growing, 100%, and you'll get here eventually, like I did.
Well, while we are very sad that you're not part of Relay anymore, we are also very happy that you're part of CIG.
I'm an honorary member of Relay. I'm an alumnus.
Will forever
be. I'm so sorry.
I'm an alumnus. I put too much of my blood, sweat, and tears into Relay to not feel like I'm a part of it still.
Oh, so, yeah. Honestly, it's like the thing that we're most proud of, I think, So one of us graduated. One of us graduated high school.
Yeah.
And make it to.
I actually. You know what's funny? You know what's funny is whenever I'm talking about the game and they're like, and like a developer or something be like, you know a lot about this game, and I'm like, I'm a graduated backer. I say that all the time. But yeah. And I still feel like and then that's kind of the best part about my job is like I'm kind of the backer on the inside, you know.
You're stuck inside.
I'm both communicating like the developer's intent, but it's a two-way street. Like I represent the community for our development team. I tell them I read every single comment, and I do not exaggerate that. All of them, I read them all. And
that sounds tiring.
Are you okay?
It is.
And do CIG pay for your professional help?
I have health insurance.
Good. Genuinely good. I'm glad. That is an important thing. In the United States.
It's very good. But yeah, like I'm constantly absorbing feedback. So it's a two-way street. Absolutely. Even if we don't respond to every comment, even if we don't like address something that you may have said anywhere, we're listening always. 100%. Always remember that, because also typing a response takes about 15 to 20 times longer than me reading your comment. So I try to be decisive as to when I reply to something. But always know that I'm reading everything. Because y'all make this happen.
No, Jake, y'all make this happen.
We're doing it together. How about that?
Awesome.
And now there's over 100,000 new of you.
Yeah,
after
she's growing. She's growing fast. Wow.
It's cool, man. I joined this company at the perfect time. And it's so crazy to me because like it's no secret that Star Citizen has a controversial like viewpoint on it on the internet. It's like you can't mention you couldn't mention Star Citizen for a long time without people coming out of the woodwork to criticize it. But I think we've hit the crest of the mountain. And I'm starting to see that shift. Like it's not a light switch. I'm talking like we've climbed a mountain and we've gotten to the peak of it, and now we're coming back down the other side. And
Nakara,
it's
how
crazy.
long have we been doing this?
January
like about an hour and
7 years.
January
7
2015.
years. So we have been doing this for 7 years, and this year, and we're horrible. We're lazy and bad at. I'm lazy and bad at everything. But this year, we have started playing the game.
Yeah,
like
there is
like a fair amount.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, and that's kind of the best part is like we do marketing, right? When we do a little bit of advertising, like YouTube ads, a couple sprinkled in there here and there, but it's 95% word of mouth.
Yeah.
And we try to let the game speak for itself. And I think it's finally speaking loudly.
You know, that was something that really struck me when I stumbled across Star Citizen on TikTok, was that not that it was there. I kind of expected there to be Star Citizen TikTok accounts, but some of the videos had like 4.5 million views.
And the
like,
comments
okay.
And the comments steered positive, right?
Yes, they did.
Like
yeah.
it's it's crazy to see. And like even recently we had like a Terrata clip hit the front page of Our Gaming, and the comments are like, this is crazy, this is amazing.
And a lot of the comments steered to like, what is this? This is Star Citizen. Wait, really?
Yeah.
Like it was less negative and more this realization that, oh, holy crap.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And see,
crap.
old Dirty Hermit in the chat is going to wait a year. Perfectly valid. Perfectly valid. And it's totally okay to want to play the finished product. All I'm trying to say is, I think the alpha product is finally to the point where the foundational bits of it are in place. And obviously there's a huge amount of work to do still. Yeah. But we're at the point where people are starting to see the forest through the trees.
Yeah, I will not recommend. I will still not recommend that anyone go out and play Star Citizen.
Being said, the rest of the year is going to get crazy. Prepare yourselves.
I think that's the biggest challenge that Star Citizen that CIG has for the next year, is putting in those massive foundational pieces of technology without breaking the game so it can't be played anymore.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why we're taking the approach that we're doing for this.
Yeah,
we're releasing a content update at the end of the month. For the people who just want to play Star Citizen. They don't care about testing. They don't care about the development process. They're having a good time playing Star Citizen.
I know.
But so there's a pretty substantial content update coming this month, but then we're hitting the PTU immediately to test
3.18,
the biggest tech implementation since 3.0. And y'all remember 3.0?
Yeah, she was a mess.
Yeah. 4160V, the best place that you can see that and kind of what I just went over is my last roadmap roundup, which was last week.
I will link it in a moment.
It is the one from the 25th.
Yeah.
Yep. That'll give you an idea as to what's coming, and how we're going to do it. Lots of really great stuff. There's a new dynamic event. There's the new derelict locations with AI and missions. That's going to be really cool.
Oh, so exciting.
There's lots of really, really good stuff coming, and it's super exciting. But at the same time, we're going to start testing the big foundational chunk of tech that is a prerequisite for server meshing, which is like galactic persistence.
That is so cool.
And it's going to be crazy. And on our test servers, it's working. But we're going to put it through its paces, and we want y'all to hammer your brains against it if you would be so inclined.
I want to remind people. Go ahead.
I've had for the last 2-ish years a rule to never install PTU. I will play the live product. I'm gonna install PTU.
Yeah, this is the one. If I am going
obviously to install PTU,
and we're gonna do it again in December. The exact same type of cadence. There's going to be a content patch at the end of the year that has new stuff, but also we're going to spool up a PTU, and we're going to be testing server meshing, IRO,
and I'm going to run that one too. Like PTU's not just incremental updates this time. PTU is like, this is game change. This is the stuff upon which Star Citizen is made.
Yep. These are the last 2 technical milestones. This is it. Yep. Once this gets going, and then static server meshing evolves into dynamic server meshing, those are the last couple pillars that we need.
So it sounds like to me like it's time for another pillar talk, a pillar roundup, a pillar.
Amen. Who knows?
Pillar fight.
What's that, Shiver?
A pillar fight.
Yeah,
Exactly.
pillar fight.
Yeah.
Pillow fight.
4
Pillar
devs
fight.
go in, 1 comes out.
Yeah, everyone should throw their minds back to when 3.0 launched, and
Or even
your
2.0.
the big win in 3.0 was if you could get a ship to spawn.
Yep.
Not get in it. If you could actually spawn the ship, you're doing awesome.
Yep.
that was like before your game crashed. Now we're in a situation where you can play for hours and you might not even run into a significant bug. Which is amazing. It's coming a long way, and it's still an alpha. So, yeah.
I've just
So
been
cool.
given a Big Mac that is bigger than my fucking face, and it's amazing.
Amazing. I love it.
A Giga Big Mac.
Well,
why didn't they call it a Giga Mac?
Shiver,
A Giga Mac, I like that.
Shiver, you should take just
A mega pint.
because you should
Yeah.
you should show back up and tell everyone, you know, where you can be found and what the Table of Horrors is and where.
Oh,
where...
if I survive my 15-hour flight, which hopefully I won't, then Friday, your time zone is Nihon Nights V5, our ongoing VTM modern day chronicle set in Japan. Over on twitch.tv/Table of Horrors.
Nice.
Check that out. VTM.
Type in chat so people can follow easily.
Yes, that's actually a good idea because I don't do that. Because I'm bad at this. I've always been bad at this. Jake can confirm that I've always been bad at this.
Yep.
But I'm not going to change.
Nope.
That does seem unlikely at this point.
Look, I'm trying to save the world in my day job. This is what I do to hang out with my friends. So
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to our audience. Thank you everybody for joining us.
Yes. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I have missed you all very much. And it's good to be back on this show after 2 years. So
well, I hope it's not going to be
so
another
weird.
2 years before we see you.
No, definitely not.
No, we'll have to have you go on again. And yeah, I hope you continue to have new adventures at CIG. It sounds like it's gonna continue to be quite fun.
Oh, we're just getting started, man. It's gonna get crazy. If you want to keep track of my daily musings, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm gonna post a link.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Yeah, maybe. There we go.
Follow Shiver.
Wait, no, I can't.
Right.
There you go.
Follow Shiver. Shiver does a hell of a lot more. Puts a hell of a lot more work into his product than I've ever done for.
He works his butt off.
Follow Jake.
I'm working on my holiday.
Follow Jake because Jake's actually CIG. Follow Nakara and I because we've been told that we're CIG so quite a few times. But
see, that's what's funny is GameSpot was prophetic actually,
right?
They had some clairvoyance like 6 years ago.
They were just 4 years too early.
Yeah,
so funny.
Thank you all so much for joining us, Jake. I
hope to see some of you at the Bar Citizen in Austin if you are local. But if not, I'm coming for your booty.
Jake, I want to say... Go ahead. You finish.
Well, and if you do, I might have some goodies for you.
Goodies?
Ooh.
Good.
Yeah.
Canada wants goodies, Jake. Canada never gets...
If you drive down to Montreal, you could get some goodies.
Can't. Too short notice, and I've got a child. I have a child, and I have no way to take care of that child because COVID's a bitch.
Yep.
Seriously though, Jake, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for everything. Thank you for the years
of really fun.
INN and Relay that you gave to us.
Yeah.
And there's literally no one else that I would rather have working at CIG because I know that you're there as your job, but I know that you're there working for all of us. You're doing everything you can because you have the same. We all had the same questions the entire time we were working together, and I know that you know what we want to know, and I know that you're doing everything you can to make sure that we know it. So thank you, seriously, for everything you do.
That is the DNA of how I approach my job every day. Is what would I want as a backer, and I'll never let that go ever. So,
with that in mind, Melissa Estrada, when?
Thank you all
someday
so much.
when we highlight the tech art team.
Thank you all so much for watching and listening and asking questions and putting up with us. We love you all. Seriously, stay safe. We love you. Glory to Ukraine. Come back next week.
Happy Pride Month.
No, shit. Fuck. Sorry, I forgot. Yes, sorry, Jake. Happy Pride Month. Yes, absolutely. Christ, it's too many things.
June.
It's June. Yeah. Happy Pride Month. Fuck. But also, it's June. 5 days from now at 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be streaming the Summer Games Fest, and then 7 days from now, 8 days from now, the Sunday, the 12th.
The 12th.
Sunday, yep.
So we are on the 9th and the 12th, we will be streaming. On the 9th, we'll be streaming the Summer Games Fest, and on the 12th, we will be streaming the Xbox and Bethesda Games show. Come watch us do that.
Excited.
Come watch David and Eric talk over Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It'll be a good time.
We have not yet.
Days we're doing this again, but it's the Shiva Memorial episode.
If it's the Shiva Memorial episode, then Jake's going to be back on, because we're going to have to all wax poetic. We would all have to wax poetic about about Shiver and the glory that is Shiver. And then, honestly, probably we'd shut down the show because the humor would be gone.
Can I just say, Shiver, ever since we did that very short-lived series about our top video games of the year, whenever I see Galactic Civilization 3 mentioned anywhere in any context, I hear your voice going, Galactic Civilization 3.
Good game.
It's permanently etched into my mind.
Oh, man. Awesome.
Thank you all so much. Jake, thank you so much for being on. We love you all. Goodbye. Good night.
Bye.
Glory to Ukraine. Stay